What is up, everybody? This is the Horror Fiend. I'm Jeff. The one on the phone is...
Bethany.
What is up? We're going to do this as quickly as possible today because, we're trying to appease the fans. First things first, real quick, just to get it out of there. Last week we talked about Scream and Neve Campbell and Matthew Lillard, and now, all of a sudden... Literally the day after we talked about it, Dewey himself, David Arquette, has come out and said that he's on for Scream 5 pretty much. So, there we go. A little bit more Scream news for you guys real quick, just so we all have it. Gonna be awesome. As always, we're all looking forward to it. With that out of the way, and now getting into what our topic is for this week. And we are doing another Worst to Best. We have not done one in quite some time. It feels, at least. So today, Bethany, tell them what we are doing Worst to Best.
We are doing Child's Play. The Chucky franchise.
It's very true. We are going to be doing Child's Play. Hold on. Gotta drink water. Yep. Child's Play today, guys, so we are going to do, just like you've seen us do with other ones, is going from worst, in our opinion, worst to best. And just like other ones, we actually had a bit of a disagreement. This one was probably the biggest disagreements out of all the ones that we've talked about so far. This was like the main...
Oh, yeah. Our options were like, our choices were all over the place. We weren't on the same page with this one.
Yeah, we agreed on like the two worst, which I think all of us are going to agree on the two worst. So we agreed on that, and then everything else is kind of like, okay, I'll make this compromise if you make this compromise. And so we talked about it for a while, and we narrowed it down, and we got it in our list, and it is set. And keep in mind when you guys are watching this and hearing it, that this is just our opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them. Half the time they smell like shit. So, just
and
an
remember,
opinion.
we had to compromise, and we
Yes.
had to agree on it. And
Very much so.
I mean, you have to, and we want to hear. If your list is different than our list, we want to hear it.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. Facebook, Instagram, obviously here on YouTube. Let us know. We both want to know what your guys' worst to best is. What you think. Do you agree with us? Do you think that certain movies should be higher or lower on the list? Because I think that there's movies that she thinks should be higher, things that I thought should be higher, so yeah, it's going to be interesting, but let's go ahead and jump into it right now. We're going to start it off with the worst of the worst. This is honestly a coin flip between these two movies. It happened to land on this one, so we're going to go ahead and say the worst out of the Chucky franchise. And I'm saying Chucky franchise, not just Child's Play, but Chucky, because we all know there's other Chuckies that aren't Child's Play. So we're starting off with Seed. Seed of Chucky is the Nightmare on Elm Street remake of the Child's Play franchise.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, they tried really, really way too hard to be funny. There's funny, but then there's this shit. And as much as I love Jennifer Tilly, and I have a small obsession with Jennifer Tilly. It just wasn't good. It was the part where Chucky kills Britney Spears made me laugh my ass off. That did, but
and I liked the part where they kind of opened Tiffany up and you saw the bloody organs.
That was a good scene.
So that part was a good scene. That was a good scene. But I mean, really, most of the movie is just shit-face keeps pissing itself, and that's about it. That's the movie right there.
Yeah, and just a lot of weird version of Chucky dad jokes, and just not good. It wasn't good. It was. That's why, and I mean, come on, man. The tagline of it was "Evil comes home" or some shit. It was really stupid. They're trying really hard on the cum and the Chucky sperms. Even when that movie, opening scenes of that movie is the fucking little Chucky sperm floating about.
Yeah.
And it's just it just was not good, and that's why it's this. And literally between this and the next movie that we're gonna mention, it was a coin flip because they're both pretty bad in their own right, but Coming in at number 7, right after Seed of Chucky, that would be Child's Play 3. If you guys don't remember Child's Play 3, I don't really blame you. Child's Play 3 was when Andy was in boot camp, when he was in military school.
And it's not the right Andy, it's a different Andy.
Yeah, and I guess like this was literally released, I think, 9 months after Child's Play 2. Really bad idea. Really bad fucking timing. I mean, come on, man. Child's Play 2, we see how young Andy is. And then all of a sudden, 9 months later, he's 16 years old? I don't fucking think so. So, and like, don't get me wrong.
Then the whole military school thing. I mean, the movie was very slow running, and it was really boring. I thought it was just boring.
I completely agree. Like, there are some things I like about it. Like, I could say this, okay? I love when Chucky's like, Chucky's gonna be a bro. Like, I laughed my ass off at that because I thought it was funny. Even when I was a little kid, I was like, oh, I get it. You know? And so I thought that was funny. And I thought that when Chucky finds out, like, what team Andy's on, and he goes and he takes all the paint rounds out of the opposing team and puts live rounds in, and then that whole scene with the freaking where they're like literally massacring the other team and they don't realize they have real weapons. I thought that was fucking awesome. I thought like that I really liked that. I thought that was fucking cool. And you know, that the little nerdy kid sacrificing himself to save everybody because Chucky threw the grenade. You know, that was cool too. And then I like when they're like at the carnival and they're like Chucky's looking for the little black kid, and you know, they're all freaking doing that, and how Chucky gets killed ultimately. I thought that was pretty cool too. But other than that, like, the kid who played Andy was fucking garbage. He wasn't good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he wasn't. It wasn't very good. It didn't work for me. The couple of scenes I did like is I like the way the nasty Chucky doll, like, you know, when he was a big pile of gooey mess.
Yeah.
The beginning scene where they started, you know, fixing him back up and the blood mixing with everything. So I liked that. That worked for me, and it kind of stood out. And then, you know, whenever before he dies, how that, you know, in that house and like half of Chucky's face gets cut off. You know, that was a good scene. You know, it looked pretty cool, and it made Chucky look a little creepy. But you know, other than that, like I said, it was a very boring movie.
I agree. And then obviously the one thing that kind of sticks out a little bit that I actually like too is with the barber, because the barber, if I remember correctly, is the dad from Hellraiser from the first one. If I remember correctly, that's who the barber is. And so when he's like, presto, you're bald. And then when Chucky gets him and goes, presto, you're dead. Like, I was like, it's fucking funny. Okay, cool. But yeah, Child's Play 3 is just right below Seed of Chucky. And like I said, it was a really boring story. It didn't really fit everything. 9 months after Child's Play 2, which, you know, is arguably the best of the franchise, like that, just not good. Not good. And so that's why it's at number 7. Coming in at number 6, this is where we started disagreeing, because I don't think this movie should be there, but we compromised and we put it here. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Cult of Chucky. And I'm gonna let Beth take over on this one real quick. I want her to explain why she wanted it in this spot while I drink some water. So Beth, take it away.
Okay, so the main thing that really got me on Cult of Chucky, and it killed the whole movie for me, and kind of messed with the whole series, is how there was numerous Chuckies. So instead of it just being one Chucky doll, and the goal is to get his soul out of this doll and placed into, you know, a human or whatever, now he can break his soul apart and put it into a bunch of Chucky dolls. There was like a bunch of Chucky dolls, or, you know, and a few other people as well. So now you have a bunch of Chuckies walking around, Charlie Rays walking around, you know, and a couple of Tiffany's walking around as well. So that alone killed it for me, and that is why I had it lower on my list.
And this is why I agreed. I even told her, I was like, the main reason why I'm just going to agree with this is because the Child's Play, you know, it's always been Chucky trying to put himself into somebody, you know, Andy, the little black kid, things like that. So that's how I was like, okay, you know, that makes sense. I liked the multiple Chucky things. I thought it was cool. Like, I felt that it kind of made sense given everything. Like I always thought, like kind of how when Beth was mentioning about on Child's Play 3 with like when they're remaking the dolls and you see some of Chucky's blood, I was like, well, what would have happened if that blood got into like several dolls, and then you would expect the same thing to happen. So, like I was like, okay, I get it.
But they totally did not go that route. It was just a now he can.
Yeah.
And it, like I said, I don't know, it just threw it off for me. But it did have a lot of really good scenes, and it was still pretty fun. The glass death decapitation scene, where he
that was very
breaks
throwback.
the glass in front of the chick that's tied up in there, and all the glass falls and just decapitates her. That was a well shot scene. It was nice.
Yeah, a lot of the death scenes in there I really enjoyed. That little sick ass psychiatrist, I love it when he dies. Because of what he's doing to Fyodor's character.
I like Chucky's line with that. He's like, I can't with this guy.
Right? Even Chucky was like, I'm fucked up, but God. Which, again, it's like, even killers have morals, man. Michael Myers is one of them. Chucky's one of them. See? They have certain morals. But,
a lot of the drill in the eye scene, like, I mean, there are a lot of really good scenes. There's really good death scenes, It is good. It was just that one thing that put it lower on the list for me, just because it didn't fit with the main goal for me. Yeah,
and so that's why we pretty much swapped. Because the next one coming up, the next one is what I thought should have been, where Colt was, and just vice versa. So we just swapped them one space, whatever. But coming in at number 5, and now we're getting into like the top 5, which when we get top 4 is what I think is like when it's legit, because there's only 8 of the movies. But coming in at number 5 is the remake, Child's Play 2019. We might get some shit for this, but it's
probably.
And like, because I told Beth, I was like, my whole hiccup with it, she hadn't seen it up until I think yesterday. Like I watched it when it came out. I've watched it a few times. I really enjoyed the movie. Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't shoot me. I enjoyed the movie. Mark Hamill as Chucky was fucking awesome. I like the concept too. I like that it's not Charles Lee Ray and all that shit. Like, this is literally just a good guy doll who got programmed wrong because of a pissed off employee.
Aspect of it.
Yeah, and so he's like literally he's doing his job. He loves Andy. He's trying to protect Andy. So when he thinks anybody's out to harm Andy, or Andy is like mad at somebody, he's gonna defend his best friend. And I do like that concept. My only issue with it, which is why I think it should have been above Colt, was because, again, it's not Charles Lee Ray. It's not Charles Lee Ray. All these other movies have Charles Lee Ray, but if by that, then that means that this would have been the worst, technically, but it's not. In the series, it's not the worst, but my whole thing was it's not Charles Lee Ray. It's another take on it, which I really enjoyed, and it's a good movie, and so, because it's Chucky, I was like, fine, I could do that, but,
Well, for me, I felt like I would have even gone, and I'm going to get crap for this, but I would have even gone a little bit higher. It was higher on my list, because I was a little like, at first. I didn't even want to see it. I didn't like the way they made Chucky look. I was just like, and, you told me, give it a shot. Well, I gave it a shot. I knew we were doing this list. I gave it a shot, and it was hilarious. I laughed throughout most of the movie. It was so funny, and it was highly entertaining because it was so funny, and it has some really, really good scenes, some really good death scenes, like when the dude got scalped and then he skinned the face and gave it as a gift. That was a fun scene. Like, I thought that was hilarious. And then, the crotch buzzsaw scene.
Oh, yeah.
Again, a really good scene. So, I thought it was highly entertaining, and I thought it was hilarious. So, I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, and like I said, so do I. My big gripe with it is it's not Charles Lee Ray. Like all the other movies, it's all about Charles Lee Ray trying to, do this one thing, which is get out of that fucking body. But with this one, that whole aspect was ripped out, but it was still a good movie. It was still fun. I enjoyed it. That's why it's nowhere near the end of the list, because it actually does deserve to be like right there in the middle of it all, because they did a good job. Mark Hamill is fucking amazing. Obviously, the guy is one of the most talented people alive, and so him
And
taking
it works well
over
as
that.
a standalone movie. You know, if you can
Exactly.
do that, if you can remove yourself from the rest of the Child's Play series and watch it just as a standalone movie and not compare it to the others, I think a lot of people would really enjoy it.
Exactly. Like Mark Hamill, excuse me, he took the reins and he did amazing with it. He really did, and it's worth a watch. If you guys haven't watched it, I definitely say check it out. But yeah, that's number 5. Good movie. Like I said, it really is. That's why it deserves this spot. It deserves to be right there. I don't see it getting any higher just because of these, but it could. Like the next one, some of you might. A lot of people I've already talked to agree that this is one of the better ones in the series. Some people don't think it is. But coming in at number 4 is Curse of Chucky. So, for those of you who haven't seen Curse of Chucky, 1, what the fuck? 2, I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. Go watch it. Because Curse of Chucky, there's no other way of saying this. Okay, so, like, it takes the original movie, revamps it, brings in a new element where it's like we know what's going to happen. Like you learn all this shit. You learn about Charles Lee Ray. They tie in Charles Lee Ray and everything else to the movie. I'm not going to say how or anything, but they really fucking do. And then they bring in Brad Dourif's wife, or not wife. Sorry, what the fuck am I thinking? His daughter. They bring in his daughter. You know, Fiona's in the movie. This is her debut, and in the Child's Play in the Chucky franchise, and she did a great job. She really did. I like the whole handicap aspect too, because we have never, in my opinion, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, we've never had any type of survivor girl or survivor boy who's been in a wheelchair. Like, we've never had something like that. I mean, the closest we've ever gotten was maybe I can't remember which Friday the 13th it was right offhand, but there was like a guy who was in a wheelchair because of a motorcycle accident. But then
there was one in the original Friday the 13th, and then you had Will from Dream Warriors.
Yeah, but neither of them were survivors. They both died.
Yeah, they both died.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they were in there, but not like as a survivor. This one, she was actually the survivor girl. You know, she's in a wheelchair, and she still makes do, and that's scary, man. When you don't have your legs and you have this shit going on, I just picture that being 20 times more fucking terrifying because you can't run. You know, you can't do a lot of the shit that people who survive do. So, like, they took this story, they added that fucking crazy-ass twist at the end of Charles Lee Ray, which I absolutely loved. They tied it in.
And see, I didn't like that part.
I thought it was awesome because that's how you do loose ends.
Lower, is I didn't like the backstory to it. It was just, I don't know. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But, you know, it has Jennifer Tilly in it, and come on, who doesn't love Jennifer Tilly? And
Jennifer Tilly was
Andy,
in Seed,
you know?
but
Andy, that did it for me right there. And in such an awesome scene, you have Andy in it, and that was amazing. Plus, some of the kill scenes were awesome. When they stabbed the chick in the eye, that's a really good scene in the movie.
Sorry, I was drinking water.
Oh, I thought I hung up on you. I was like, oh crap.
No, I was drinking some water. But no, like, that's why it's so high on this list. That's why it's just, in my personal opinion, she wanted it a little bit lower, and I was like, no, like this has to be.
No, like I said, it does have the good kill scenes, the stabbed in the eye, the jaw scene. You know, those are all fun. Love Jennifer Tilly, love Andy, love that they kind of transition that back into it. I really didn't dig the backstory. Like, it didn't work for me. But like I said, that's just my opinion. But we're here. It's where it needs to be.
I don't know why I don't remember Jennifer Tilly being in Curse. Like, I remember she was in Cole near the end when Fiona's character is, like, walking out to the car. But I do not remember her being in Curse.
Well, she was actually in Cult a couple more times in there as well. But yeah, she was in Curse. But I'm going to have to... I'll look the scene up and I will show you.
Yeah, like,
I have to go look for the scene.
I don't know why the hell I'm not remembering it. And then, like, Andy, like, I think Andy was in Curse. Like, I remember he was in Cult because he was, like, at the end when he's actually, like...
Yeah, he was definitely in Cult. But you know how they start the beginning of Cult where you have the Chucky head?
Yeah.
That started from the end of Curse.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right. Okay, yeah, for some reason I was having a brain fart on that. I don't remember why. Like, it's mainly I don't remember Tilly, but, like, she probably wasn't there and I just can't remember. But yeah, like that's why Curse of Chucky's in number 4, and I don't want, like, some of y'all are probably gonna disagree. Some of you, like, and there's gonna be some of you who are saying it should probably be further, like, up in the list or further down on the list. But I love how they did it. I like the the Survivor girl being handicapped. I love Fiona Dorff. I think she did an amazing job. Being able to work with her dad was really fucking cool. So just that whole thing, I think, just that's why I like it so much. And the kills, everything was pretty. And it was dark. It was a darker take. It wasn't meant to be as funny as a few of the other ones were. It was meant to be darker, and I really like that. And that scene where Chucky just looks like a regular doll at first, just a regular good guy, and then when, like, you actually see him with the fucking stitching and everything else, I was like, oh my god, that was just so badass. So that's why we have it up here at number 4. And the next 3 is where we really started differing, because what we have at number 3, she wanted at number 1, and we had to discuss about it and stuff. But coming in at number 3, and I might get some hate for this. I know I'm going to get love for it too. But Child's Play, the original. And the reason why I don't think, like, it definitely deserves to be in the top 3. It's what started it all. It really is. And so it deserves its spot in the top 3. The reason why I don't think it's number 1, and you guys will find out as we go. You guys already know what 2 and 1 is just by the list. So Child's Play set the standard for the movies. However, it was pretty slow throughout the majority of it. I like the Charles Lee Ray thing, seeing what happened to him. Obviously, that's how we know it happened. And, I'll let Bethany mention her favorite part here in a second. But I didn't like how slow it was. And I didn't like the fact that during this whole movie, you don't really ever get to see Chucky. Like, it's him doing shit, but you never get to see him until almost near the end. And that bothered me, after watching all the other ones, that does bother me. It doesn't bother me to the point to where it's going to be low on the list. It's really high on the list. It's one of the best ones. But I just did not like how slow it was. I didn't like how, it's like they're trying to make it look like one thing, and then when they do finally debut Chucky and then we see him in all of his glory doing his shit, that's fucking awesome. Obviously that's a great, like, 20 minutes worth of movie right there. And so, or maybe 30 minutes, might have been like 30 minutes worth of movie, but it's like 20, 30 minutes of really great 20, 30 minutes worth of movie right there. But go ahead and tell them what you like about it right quick, Beth. I'm going to drink water.
Okay, so what I liked about it is I liked how serious it was. It was a darker tone movie. It wasn't like some of the other ones where they're very, very comical. The comedy they did have in it wasn't necessarily like, quick one-liners and stuff like that. It was more about, like, here you have this crude man and this doll saying, inappropriate things. And it was funny because you knew that it was a grown man in there, but seeing it come out of a doll, that's what made it funny, but it was still a serious movie. It wasn't meant to be comical. You have the introduction of the story and everything, and I really, really liked how it was kind of like a setup where, Chucky was essentially setting Andy up. So everybody around them thought you had this little, demented child that was killing people when it was him this whole time. And he was just setting that up. My favorite scene, and I don't know who will agree with me or not, but it's at the very, very end when you have the burnt up Chucky doll, and he says his final line, and his voice kind of goes up, and it's really creepy, and that was always my favorite scene since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it was always really creepy. It was really fun, and it was the scene that, like, most people like the most.
Yeah, and I like that scene, and I do like the fact that, Chucky's trying to make it look like where Andy's doing all this crazy stuff, like, to his aunt and all that stuff. I do think that was a cool little concept. And I think if they, and, like, I know it was done, like, in the 80s and shit, so there's no way for them to do it, but if they would have done it more like how they did Curse, as far as that version of the darkness goes, like how dark that movie was, if they would have done it a little bit more like that, I probably would have liked it a whole hell of a lot more. And I know I'm saying this, like, all these years later, and they, that's when it first came out, but, like, that was, like, my whole thing. Like, for me, it was just, like, Curse didn't seem as slow as the original Child's Play did. The original Child's Play kind of seems slow, and it's probably because like when we watch Curse or something, we know it's going to happen. Like we already know, we have that feeling, and it's like okay, we're anticipating it. So I think that's why the darkness, the darker side of that one, just felt better for me. But I definitely do like how they tried, how Chucky tried framing Andy and making it like everybody thought Andy was doing it, the shoes and all that. So the shoes that literally saved his ass. But yeah, like obviously, Child's Play is an awesome movie. It definitely deserves its spot in the top 3. But coming in at number 2 now, and this is where it gets my personal 2 favorites as well. Like this and probably Curse are like my favorites of the franchise. And so coming in at number 2, I was originally going to put it at number 1, but I watched, and as much as I love this movie, I just do not see it beating number 1. So coming in at number 2 is Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chucky revitalized the Child's Play series. After Child's Play 3, they just like blipped off the radar for a while. And it came back swinging with Bride of Chucky. The debut of Jennifer Tilly in the Child's Play franchise. In her prime, she looked freaking absolutely amazing. That whole beginning scene where you see like Jason's mask and Freddy's glove and Myers' mask and like all that shit.
Oh yeah, the evidence scene.
Yeah, the evidence locker.
Was one of my favorite parts. You had, like you said, you had the Jason's hockey mask, Myers' mask. You had a chainsaw, and then
Freddy's
you had Freddy's glove.
Yeah, like that whole little scene paying tribute to all the horror movies. That was fucking awesome. The soundtrack.
Voodoo for Dummies book.
Yeah, the Voodoo for Dummies. The soundtrack was amazing. The soundtrack is incredible, honestly. I mean, John Ritter's in this movie. Like, God, man, they kicked so much ass on it, and they brought it back. And it was still like a very twisted movie. Like the kills in there are some fucked up kills. They paid tribute to Pinhead when they shot up John Ritter with all the nails in his face. That shit was hilarious. There's the tribute to fucking Hellraiser right there. But like that kill, and then probably one of the greatest kills in the franchise, if not the greatest fucking kill in the franchise, is when that couple who steals from the main protagonist protagonist, when they steal their money and shit, and you see them like getting freaky in their room, and they have like the heart bed, and they have the glass on the ceiling so they can watch themselves doing the naughty, and when Tiffany goes in there with that bottle and freaking throws it up there and shatters all that glass, and it all comes down and like slices that couple up. Like that was just fucking amazing. Like not Chucky's not the only one who could do this shit, man. Tiffany coming out swinging. Like that was Tiffany's kill, and Tiffany's like, damn, she probably has the best kill in the fucking franchise, you know.
Like she was saying about being more creative on the kills and whatnot.
It's true. What would Martha Stewart do? And I like that. I like how like at the beginning of the movie it's like a one-upsmanship. Like who's gonna one up each other? You know, like we see Tiffany get the first kill of the movie when she kills that officer, and then fucking Chucky comes in and Chucky winds up killing the little wannabe Marilyn Manson, who I believe was Patricia Arquette, and so that was kind of funny. Just them kept constantly one upping each other with their kills. Chucky going around and doing that big ass fire and blowing up the cop car with needle nose, and then fucking Tiffany, just like, it's just awesome. The constant one-upsman between those two. That's a match made in hell. And it really did kind of bring back the Child's Play franchise. It probably spawned, taking the words out of Beth's mouth, it probably spawned the worst sequel ever in Seed, but...
Yeah, it did. That movie just should not have happened. I mean, one of the only things, it's a comedy movie. Bride of Chucky is, it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest ones in the whole series. And, two dolls together, come on.
Right, that part where they get freaky and he's like, wait, don't you have a rubber? He's like, look at me, I'm all rubber. Like, Like, that's just fucking
it
awesome.
it was funny because when I very first watched it, I was like, are they really going to go there? Are they seriously going to go there? Oh, yeah,
Made in
they're
China.
going there. They're going there. So, you know, and it was funny. It was a fun movie.
It was, like...
The poser at the beginning.
Oh, God, right?
Oh, where he was, you know, faking that he killed somebody, and he was this big old goth dude and huge poser, and she just, like, you know, she caught him right out of it.
She's
so
like, that's your fingernail paint. Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure that was Patricia Arquette, and that shit was funny. Like, I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it saved the franchise, and Jennifer Tilly's in it. I can't stress that enough. Jennifer Tilly. She's in her 60s. Have you seen how great that woman looks right now still? It's not possible. She found the Lazarus pits or something. Like, it's not possible. Jennifer Tilly.
Ew. I know. I didn't believe you when you told me what her age was. I was like, no, you're lying.
Jennifer Tilly. Jennifer Tilly, if you see this, I love you. I'll marry you. I will. I'll leave everybody. I'll marry you. Okay, and finally hitting number 1. So, we've hit Seed, we've hit Child's Play 3, we've hit Cult, Child's Play, Curse, Child's Play 1, Bride. Now coming in at number 1, Child's Play 2. The reason for this, okay, I mean, like, this is, when I was talking with Beth about it, like, I gave her my reasoning for it. I was like, you know, well, the first Child's Play was really fucking awesome, and it was good. It was slow, but good. Child's Play 2 takes that ball and rolls with it the entire fucking movie. It just goes, and I love it. Like, it's Chucky amplified. Like, it's Child's Play 1 with the volume turned all the way up, and just Chucky being Chucky, and like, we're seeing these crazy fucking kills that he's doing. I love the whole teacher thing that happens. Like, when he walks out with that ruler, I'm like, oh my God. Like damn, man. And like,
I like how they filmed it to where, like, each scene looks like a nightmare. You know, like the foster place, with the way the lighting is, it looks like you're stuck in a nightmare. When he goes to the foster parents, their whole house looks like they're stuck in a nightmare. You know, even the warehouse factory, it looks like you're stuck in a nightmare. So all the lighting they used was just perfect.
And I think they actually talked about that. Sorry, drink water. They actually talked about that, if I remember correctly, where they said that they wanted the feel of the movie to be like places that a kid would like fear being, you know, and or just like that give you those bad vibes, like school, you know, when you have school and you have that crazy teacher, like that whole scene is just fucking insane. But like the kills are awesome in it, and like I said, it's just really amped up. It's like, you know, but Andy's not with his mom anymore. You know, now he's been going through foster cares, and he has a new home that he's with, and now he has a sister, and you know, it's just how they did it was they took everything from the first Child's Play and they built on it, and they made it, in my opinion, like the best film of the franchise. Like, I originally was gonna say Bride should be a number 1, but after rewatching Child's Play 2, like, I was just like, there's no fucking denying it, man. Like, I've never been so sure about a thing like this since Halloween being number 1, you know, which you guys will know that way later on in a few months. But, like...
There were so many really, really good scenes as well for the second one. Like, the sewing machine, when you could just hear the sewing machine, and then she turns the foster mom around. Like, that was such a good scene. And it had that creepy kind of nightmare feel to it. Chucky's hand getting pulled off.
Right.
In the gate, and then using the blade on there, like,
when he shoves
right
the
in
blade
there, like,
in.
that is a really good and memorable scene. But the most memorable has to be where the guy goes to try to fix the machine, the security guy, and he's like looking to see why it's stuck up there. He gets stuck in there, and then he gets the good guy eyes.
Oh yeah, when
eye
like
replacement.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember when it
That
did.
is the scene that it stands out above all the other ones. It's the most memorable. It is a really, really good scene, and I mean, it was the one that I remembered years and years later, you're like, oh yeah, that one was the second one.
Right, with that aftermath and crap, man. Like after he gets stuck with it too, he's like, you just see the eyes in him, and that's just like super fucking creepy.
Oh yeah, it definitely stands out in your mind after that. It is like the best scene, I think, out of that movie. And then, of course, the gooey, nasty Chucky mess at the end, and then, that mess getting, blown to bits everywhere.
Yeah, and, like, that's why it literally just takes number one, and it just, like, brings Chucky really pissed off, and just coming at you, like, now, that this doll is alive. This doll is going after Andy by any fucking means necessary. And it's just like, it's the more like ruthless version of Chucky. Like, I am confident with saying that if this Chucky was how it was in the first one, from like start to finish, number one, Child's Play 1 would be number one. But that's why it's slightly off. It's just like, that's the only reason why. And like I said, there's gonna be people who are gonna agree with us. There's gonna be people who disagree with us, and people might be all like, Beth was right, you're wrong, what the fuck's wrong with you? But and then there might be people who are like, fuck that, Jeff was right. And that it's expected. Like that's the beauty of opinions, is like we all have them, and this is just like friendly conversations. We made sacrifices for each one that we wanted, and I honestly feel like this list, I don't want to say it's like a definitive list, but I think it's a really good start to finish. I think it's a really good, worst to best. I think that after, talking about it, making compromises and stuff, this is a really good list. This is a really solid list. This is the hardest list we've had to make so far. When we did Nightmare on Elm Street, that was fairly fucking easy. We did Scream, that was easiest. Scream was the easiest because there's only like 4 of them. Still, that was the easiest one because we knew automatically. And like, there's some people who didn't agree with that. Some people think that, part 4 is garbage, and people think that part 3 is fucking amazing. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, yeah, for Scream, we actually did get one person that was like, you know what, no, I disagree, and even went in further to where I'm going to go watch the movies again.
And reevaluate.
And, kind of review it again and kind of see what they're saying. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go watch them again, and let's see. Let's see if you have a really good argument, and maybe I missed something. And
I still stick with it. I still think that Scream 3 is just a shit show. Like, I still like it. That's the thing. Like, I can still sit down and watch it. That beginning scene with Cotton Weary getting killed, I fucking love that whole scene. But, I mean...
see, I really like part 2. I really like Scream 2. I know it was a lot of nostalgia, and that's probably why, but, I mean, it had some good stuff. But I'm like, no, I'll go watch it, and I'll check them all out again and see, does Scream 3, is it really better than 2?
No, not in my opinion. But like we've already talked about this. I honestly think that the worst of the worst, in my opinion, is, and like they even said when they were making Scream 3, that they didn't really know what they were going on. There was so many different scripts. Like, that wasn't just like added in the movie when they say that, but that was legitimately what was going on. Like, they did not know what the hell was going on, so they were just like kind of just going with it. And while obviously we like certain shit from it, like I love the Jay and Silent Bob cameo, and Cindy having a brother, like that's kind of where it like started killing it for me a little bit. It's like, come on now. Like, first it was Billy and Stu, and then now her brother magically appeared and told them to do all this. Come on now. But yeah, Scream 3 was just kind of, but that's the great thing. Like, we all have the opinions, we all talk about them, and we enjoy it. This is fun, and like we enjoy the debate too, because like we're actually like just sitting there and we're hearing each other's points of views of shit, and that's what makes these videos so fucking fun, is because it's just two people talking about movies that they enjoy, and wanting to see you guys let us know what you think too. So I already know Juan's going to comment. Juan, if you haven't watched the not Halloween, sorry, I'm thinking months ahead. If you haven't watched the Chuckies yet, I'm probably going to lay the smackdown on you, just so you know.
Well, Juan was like me. He didn't watch the remake, but you know what, Juan? You got to give it a shot. You do. Because I really enjoyed it, and I'm really curious to see if you like it as well.
Watch the remake, Juan. It's actually good, dude. I'm telling you. Go into it with the mindset of, this isn't Charles Lee Ray, okay? Just go in that mindset where it's like, this is like a spin-off of the idea. And you'll probably like it, dude. Like, just appreciate Mark Hamill for Mark Hamill and the story behind it. You're going to dig it. I'm pretty sure you will. A lot of people dig it. So, for those of you who haven't watched it yet, by all means, make sure you check it out. I think I actually bought it. I rented it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to buy it because it's good enough for me to actually want to do that. So, yeah, that's it, guys. This was our worst to best for the Child's Play / Chucky franchise. Let us know down here what you guys think. I really wish I had a Chucky shirt for this. Unfortunately, I don't own any Chucky shirts yet. I need to get one. So I'm just wearing a basic t-shirt today, nothing special. It's gaming related, so I'm not even gonna, mention it as far as like the design. But yeah, guys, just let us know down there what you think, or Facebook, Instagram. Hit us up. Let us know. Let us know if you agree, disagree, what you think should be moved up and down. And you got any other final thoughts or words, Beth, before I cut this video?
I'm just really curious on if people, where they would cut the movies. Come fight us.
Let us know. I want combatants. I want people to come in and say, fuck y'all, Seed's the best movie ever. We'll completely discredit that, but you're entitled to your opinion.
If there is anybody that thinks The Seed of Chucky is the best out of the whole franchise, I really do want to hear from you, and I really want to hear why. Because I can't see it. Yeah,
exactly. I want to hear why somebody would actually say that, and then I'm going to record the next week with tears coming down my eyes, because that's how sad I'm going to be. So, by all means, if any of you think that Seed of Chucky is the best, I can't even say it with a straight face. If anybody thinks Seed of Chucky is the best one of the franchise, let us know. If you guys think 3 deserves more love, let us know. Like, as a kid, I could watch 3.
If you think the original deserves more love, let us know. I mean, like I said, we had some trouble getting this list together, so, it's going to be fun for us to see the differences.
Exactly. If you think Bride of Chucky should have been number 1, let us know. So, but yeah, guys, that's it. Other than that, same shit going on in the world right now. COVID's still going, so just be safe out there. Follow the procedures. They're asking everybody, just cover your fucking face when you go out, just so you don't catch anything. Other people don't catch anything. So just stay safe. That way we can open this fucking country back up and other places and do all the shit we want to do, because we all miss it. I'm hoping the country will be open up in time for Halloween, because I'll be pissed if it's not. Really pissed. Really pissed.
A wait and see. It's a wait and see.
So you guys just practice basic hygiene. Wash your ass. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth. Don't be dicks to each other. Same shit I always tell you guys. But yeah, that's it. So we're wrapping this up. It is under an hour again. A little bit longer than what I expected it to be, but it's okay. You guys will probably watch at some point in the future. So, with that said, on behalf of this amazing channel known as The Horror Fiend, I'm Jeff.
I'm Bethany.
We will catch you guys next week. Same Fiend time, same Fiend channel. Peace.